know. I will probably adjust the volume for myself as well if I think it's too loud or
we're here.
too quiet.
We're back. We're here. We're live in Montreal. We're live in our studio, in our brand new studio. In the studio.
New studio. Who this?
Who
right?
dat?
They are missing a lot of like
palette
bookshelves
that is
and
also
stuff
off
that they
the table.
had in the
It's got
set they had last year.
You know, you recognize this, but also not a picture frame. That is actually a video screen. We're not going to make use of it today because we literally just got it installed. Streams in the future. We're going to be having a lot of fun with a lot of these. They look like static picture frames, but really excited for us to have this as a resource here in our own studio in Montreal, so we can do more stuff here, including videos.
Next to it, there's a pizzeria called
all the
Luigi,
time,
and there's a lot of
interviews,
merchandise
whatever.
of him, and everything
So,
is
yes,
decorated
hello,
with
welcome.
Luigi.
There are a lot
I mean,
of
that's
you
just
out
cool.
there. Thank
That's
you for
just how
joining
you
us.
should
This
be.
is your second live stream of
Especially if
the
you're gonna
month
use
of
the
May.
name Luigi,
Earlier,
you
we were
got
at
to.
PAX East in Boston, where also a bunch of people showed up in person, which was an incredible delight to meet so many people I only knew as online names, and to ham it up in front of a live audience was pretty fun. So
reminds me of when I
just
played
wanna
Mario
say
video
thank you
games.
for that. That you know, was our
I
first
took
big
them.
live event in a long time. And
The
y'all showed up,
bookshelves?
so hopefully that means we can do
You got some of
more.
the sickest
Only
decor
negative
in that
about
case.
event, we were not joined by Dork
Yes.
due to visa issues.
Yeah. It was really sad to be watching from the sidelines, but the hype in that room was electric.
Yeah, I
like,
ate
even
them.
being at home, but just rooting you guys.
It's a lot of bookshelf to be eating.
I truly
You were
hope
probably eating on that
maybe
for a long
in the
time.
future, I'll be able to meet you guys in person. But for now, let's get into today's live stream, which we're talking about part 2 of our anniversary.
Did they say
live
someone's name was
stream
Dork?
with
Yes,
the
it's her
Dead by
name.
Daylight Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's this
official
person
live
right here
stream.
by
And
me.
Today, especially at PAX, you guys got a little taste about what was coming with this chapter. But now we're going to be talking about the map, the new gameplay, and the anniversary event, which is right around the corner.
We just gave them an app, and now they're getting the full pizza.
Yeah, the new full pizza.
So if you are new to Dead by Daylight, which I suspect some of you are, there are a lot of people here.
They are planning really
Hello,
hard on
camera
this
two.
spiking
If
the
you're
player
new
count
to Dead by
for
Daylight, I just want to
at
quickly
least
explain what's going
like
on
a
today.
month.
We're doing our stream, obviously, and generally we try to do these when we have either a release of the full chapter or, as is the case today, a PTB. If you don't know what PTB is, public test battle.
Beta.
Flipping knows. What it is a test tool for us on the development team. Truly, it's a chance for us to get the build out early, find some rough edges, anything that might not be working, and get it up to gear, up to snuff
The
for
fumble?
the full release,
True.
which is coming on.
kind of shooting
June
themselves in the foot on the
17th.
releases.
So I just
yeah,
wanted to set
yeah.
the
The
stage
the
for you in case you
release
didn't know
of the
what
chapter is going to
PTB
be
is.
next
We'll
week,
mention it a few
right?
times.
They usually wait a
That is
week after the
planned to go
PTB. The
live as
PTB will
soon as we
run
wrap
from
up the
Tuesday
show
to
here today.
Thursday,
We time it perfectly,
right?
so
Usually like 3
stay
days,
tuned.
I think.
All right.
And then they'll release it probably next
Five Nights at
Thursday.
Freddy's is our most requested chapter of all time.
June 17th.
You have wanted this for a long time.
Okay, so they're going to be waiting
FNAF
longer
fans
than I
have wanted it
expected.
for a long time. DVD fans have wanted it for a long time.
It's probably a good idea though, because Switch 2 launches June 5th, which is next
Delay
Thursday.
any longer. We'll show you what's coming in the show today with the
Man, they're
Red
going to
Show.
wait. They're going to wait 4
So,
weeks.
We're gonna kick things off with
They're going to wait a
segment
full
that you've been
month
waiting
after the
for,
PTB
Five
to
Nights at
release it. That's
Freddy's
crazy.
Gameplay playing as Springtrap.
Never played, but I definitely
And
want to try the
helping us out,
FNAF
we have
mode.
Jason Guzzo back with us to talk about his
I feel
Springtrap's
like,
gameplay, but
see,
also
Rat,
the
that's
Freddy
exactly what
Fazbear's
they're
Pizza
banking on.
map.
They're
Yes, and then
hoping
next I'll be
that
joined on the
this
couch with
is a
Justin
big
Banks,
enough
who's gonna break down
collab
this
to go
year's
beyond
anniversary
just
event
Dead by Daylight
and
to
show
pull
us
people
everything
into the
that's gonna be
community
happening for this
for the
last
sake of
Twisted
trying to grow
Masquerade.
the player base.
Then we'll have a new face on the couch, which is going to be Hollis from the product team, who's going to be running through the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog here in a couple of months. And then after that, Eric and I will be back on the couch to talk about the Dead by Daylight Creator Program, which I know a lot of our content creators out there are at the edge of their seats waiting to hear news about, so stay tuned.
And we also have another thing to
I just like
share
more
with you that is
cartoony looking
new.
stuff like Fortnite.
Maybe you saw it
Yeah,
in your
and that's
news
there's
yesterday
nothing
in the
wrong with
game.
that.
Little
That's just
spoiler,
what you like.
We're going to be talking about the extremely cool new Dead by
But doing
Daylight
things
stats
like the
tracker
FNAF
that's coming
chapter
up.
is that is their
We'll look
attempt
your
at trying to
in-game
appeal
stats
to
and
a broader
progress as you play,
audience.
which is really neat.
Yes, I cannot wait to see how many times I've died. After that, well, obviously, it's going to be, wouldn't be a Dead by Daylight live stream without having some Twitch drops. And we're going to have 3 amazing Twitch drops for players to go ahead and redeem on Twitch. So make sure you're looking at the Twitch chat or looking at the QR code to go ahead and make sure you're linking your behavior account. So that
I think
you're
I
not
might
missing
actually
it.
be
It
able
starts
to
today
farm drops
up
off
until
of my
June
own channel.
10th, but maybe, Eric, you want to tell us what we're going to get?
I do, although
I can.
don't know that
I
it
in
matches
fact
what's
can farm these
needed,
drops off
so
my own
we
channel
have
if I'm
3
watching my stream.
drops for you, but actually the first drop
That's
is a
very
combo. You're going to get blood points as well as a smiling clown badge. Sorry, I don't. What I have written down versus what's in that image. Are
I
not
represent the
same thing.
normie. Fair enough.
Learn together. Totally get it. Smiling clown badge, 200,000 blood points bundled together for watching 1 hour, a clown den banner for watching 3 hours, and a pin the tail on the Maurice charm for anyone who accumulates 6 hours of watch time. Oh, Maurice, how I miss thee.
I miss him. I have to do my little head pats at the map.
I know. I hope he returns to us soon. Before we dive in, one last thing we did want to mention if you've been around for a few weeks. We're running a charity program at the moment, which I've been so psyched about, tied to Aurella's release. And it has already, well, it's finished, but it has over $200,000.
Oh my God.
And that's before the multiplier that we're still calculating right now. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that charity. It's going to a really great cause, the Saint Justine Foundation here in Montreal, to help kids and their moms. So thank you, thank you. We'll announce the final number when we have it from the numbers people, but it is well over $200,000. So crazy.
That's a very
lot of
cool
money.
thing.
Okay. Without
I remember seeing them
further
post
ado,
about that on Twitter, I
let's
think.
talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, playing a Springtrap, and bring out our dear friend
W
Jake
Charity?
Lizzo,
I agree.
the Killer's designer.
I'm waiting for this to end because it's very loud compared to the rest of the stream. I saw something about the final masquerade, and that makes me curious about what next year's anniversary is going to be like. How's stream? Stream good. We've been having fun. We had fun with Dress to Impress. We're waiting on them to start talking about playing a Springtrap. First match or no? Not yet. We're just watching the VOD from today's stream that they had about the 9th anniversary and about Springtrap himself. Are we just waiting? Wish they added survivor skins for the PTB? The Alpha? Yeah. I have no idea who that is. I just know that they play Dead by Daylight like all the time.
Whoa! I was waiting for Jay to tell us when we're ready, but we're live. See, we told you it's live. You didn't believe us. Okay, so
Yeah, for
hi, Jay.
PTV.
So from the time that we announced that Five Nights at Freddy's was coming to Dead by Daylight,
I mean, if you get into the game,
obviously
you
the
can
excitement
always
has been off the charts
use skins
for Five
like
Nights at
in
Freddy's
the
fans,
actual game.
for DBD fans, for myself, maybe you, and you know, people are speculating. Who's the killer going to be? Are we going to get a map, et cetera, et cetera? We answered those things in a high-level way at PAX a few weeks ago. Indeed, we will have a killer, Springtrap. For the first time ever, you get to play as Springtrap instead of be terrorized by Springtrap. Well, if you're a survivor, you'll still be terrorized. And also, we'll be bringing a new map. So Jay has come.
The
here
new
to
map,
join
from
us.
what I've seen of it,
And
looks
if
pretty
you,
cool. I think
have
that's
watched
what
streams
has my
before, you would
attention the
know
most
Jay
right now.
From such hits as Chucky and also Dracula. Jay is the killer designer on both of those, as well as Springtrap. So how are you?
I always come back.
I'm also excited for
I hope
you
he
to
says
be
that.
here.
I hope they have that
So let's
dialogue
get
line in
into
the
it.
game.
So as I mentioned, you worked on some pretty iconic licenses already. So when you were assigned Five Nights at Freddy's, what was it like when you first started working on that chapter?
It was really interesting. I didn't have a lot of experience with it. Excuse me, my throats are a little dry today. I was obviously aware of it. I mean, everybody is. It's become so iconic in such a short period of time. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't really realize how kind of deep the lore and the story went before I started kind of looking into this chapter. So it's been cool, and like the story is way more horrifying.
Freddy.
Than I ever thought it would be.
The little plush.
Oh yes, despite
He
how
needs to
cute
honk
it
his
is,
nose.
very horrifying.
Honk his nose.
And actually, I think that's a very initial common ground DBD fans and FNAF fans will have. Deep lore on both games, much more than you'd expect. And once you dig in, it's really cool stuff, and it goes, like you said, goes places. So I guess the way you mentioned it, sounds like you had to do a lot of research to get up to speed.
Yeah, sure.
Sleep, I swear to
One of
God.
my favorite things with new licenses like this is
Freddy?
they give me an excuse, I guess, a reason to become like a real big nerd about one specific franchise or IP, and that's always amazing. You know, Chucky, I got to watch all the movies, and Dracula, we played the games and watched stuff. So this one, I did the same thing. I jumped in. My main thing was YouTube and Twitch, watching streams. I watched 60 to 70 hours of content of some of the more popular streamers, I guess we can say. All through all the games, including the VR stuff and things, you know, not just to see the games and how they played, but also the players, how they react, the community, how they react, getting the inspiration for the experience of FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, excuse me.
Yeah, and I think that's a really special thing. You didn't just tackle it from a mechanics point of view. You wanted to understand the community. You wanted to understand the players, make them feel as welcome in DBD as
He
possible.
watched Markiplier and Astral Split.
No, we're going to be doing this a lot. It's just quicker to use acronyms. So I think that's a great touch. So any surprises you found along the way as you were doing that?
Yeah, I mean, this won't be a surprise to most people, but it was to me, was, like I said, just how passionate the community is. They're like you said, it's very similar to DVD in that respect of like very passionate fans and very passionate community. People who kind of, they watch the trailers and they watch gameplay and they pixel peep.
I think
and they
Fortnite hella does
start
that.
stringing things together, and I imagine there's at least a few Five Nights fans with like the boards with pictures and the string all over them.
Yes, which Jay, you're kind of famous for with Dracula.
Man, I
Drew
love
some
FNAF.
meme-worthy art, so maybe we'll have some more. But yeah, they're probably picking apart our outfits as we speak. Like, what does it mean? What is it? I just wanted people to see my cool new mint-colored shoes. That's all.
I just wanted people to see. I don't know if I can show it. My daughter bought me Freddy Fazbear socks for Christmas.
Got Freddy on the feet. Likewise, my son gave me his Freddy plush for good luck today. So we are loving it over here. So before we jump into the gameplay, why don't you tell us about how you started to approach the design of Springtrap?
Yeah, it was a really interesting one because obviously, if you know both games, gameplay-wise, they're pretty diametrically opposed. Five Nights at Freddy's is really about sitting still. You manage resources, particularly the battery, and try not to get killed. Whereas DBD is all about moving around, doing the gens. If you sit still, you're gonna get yourself
Not
killed.
a good strategy.
It's not a great idea. So it really became about
Add
kind
a
of nailing
game,
down
Among Us.
what the quintessential Five Nights at Freddy's experience is. Things like the security office, the battery power, all those amazing jump scares.
Plus your band.
And just kind of figuring out how to adapt that into the context of DVD.
Perfect. So with that transition, let's get into Springtrap specifically and his gameplay.
Yeah, so one of the goals for Springtrap
Okay, so these are
was
the important parts.
to figure out how to lean into those jump scares, which are kind of the thing about the Five Nights at Freddy's games.
Tell us
right?
about the TVs and the cameras.
Without making him just a straight up stealth killer, which was something we wanted to avoid. So I had this idea of doing something that we'd never really tried before, where
Why do they
focus?
I don't understand why they
Springtrap
hate
kind of
stealth
as a
killers so
grab-based
much.
killer,
You have like
because we have
two.
grabs in DBD. They are inherently jump scares into themselves.
What is the
They're
problem with
right
having
there.
a
So we just
third
kind of
stealth
leaned
killer
into that
on your
and
roster of
gave
38
him more of
characters?
those opportunities.
There he is right there on screen. by
There
the
he
way.
is, yeah.
Maybe even have
0 out of
another
10
one.
did not like him taking a
little bit
shot
of
at
a
stealth
grab.
killers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Domo, smile.
And yeah,
Bam.
we gave him a pretty unique
Hello.
projectile, which is really cool. So Springtrap has two weapons.
He
I
has
get to finally announce. I know the community have been talking about it.
Why does he
So
have a
his large pizza
projectile?
knife as his main weapon, and a heavy fire axe. as his power.
Oh, the fire axe. So let's talk about the axe. How do you use the axe? How's it different from projectiles that
I don't
other
understand why they
characters in Dead by
hate
Daylight use?
stealth
Yeah,
killers so much.
It's a very unique. It's not going to play like any other projectile killer that you've tried before. We wanted to do something a little bit interesting with it. So
When does
if you throw the
Springtrap
axe
ever
against
use
something in the
an axe in FNAF?
whether it's a missed shot or it's deliberate, it creates an AoE that lasts about 15 seconds.
I thought they studied the lore.
If a survivor walks
Did he
through
use
it,
one in
you
the
get
movie
killer
by
instinct on them
chance?
for a short period of time. If you hit a survivor with it, kind of gets lodged in their back while you're chasing.
Kind of
No?
have an axe lodged in your back.
Just a
No
little
big
bit.
deal.
So they can remove it manually,
No idea
or
then.
they can do it.
Could not
quicker
tell
in
you. I don't know
co-op
enough
with
about
with another
FNAF.
survivor. As Springtrap, you can
Wait,
also retrieve it
the
yourself,
fire axe
getting
is the
close. You
projectile?
can
Is that what he
skip
just said?
Kind of the steps of downing the survivor and picking them up. You get in close to a survivor that has the axe embedded in them. You click the button, you grab the axe and the survivor at the same time. You get a cool little jump scare, and then you're carrying them on your shoulder. A couple of little notes. One of them is while you have your projectile available, you move at 4.4 meters per second. There he is.
There's a little glimpse of some jump scare action.
But
4.4.
once you've thrown the axe, you actually move at 4.6 meters per second. It's something that we've never really done base kit for a killer. It makes for some really interesting tactical choices.
So it's a
meaning that,
hindrance if you're carrying your
you have to recall
projectile.
the axe manually. It never comes back to you automatically unless you throw it out of the map because you can make a mistake. But yeah, as long as it's in the environment or in a survivor or whatever it is, you have to manually recall it.
So it lightens his load a little bit, makes him a bit faster.
Exactly.
Does be like we listen
So
to
that brings
fans.
us
We
to
have
another,
Springtrap,
unique
Thor's
part of
hammer.
gameplay, and I think super iconic to Five Nights at Freddy's, the security office. So let's get into that.
Yeah. So it was really important for us to give the killer and the survivor a really kind of interesting shared experience in that space, which allowed us to also lean into the jump scares. And some of the ways we came up with was to introduce a security office, which is part of any trial that Springtrap is the killer. It's part of his power, but it acts as kind of a transitionary space. So we have 7 doors that appear randomly around the map at chest spawns. And these can be used by survivors or killers to teleport around the map.
Yeah, there be a door.
There it is. And survivors can also use them for surveillance. So as a survivor, you interact with the door. It brings up the camera view. You'll get the kind of iconic map view in the bottom right of all the different cameras. On the bottom left, you'll see your battery power, which we'll talk about in a second. You can see what's going on in the other doors. You can switch between doors. If you see something that, if it looks safe on the other end, you press the button. Your character goes into the security office, and then it's kind of like a hands-off, almost like a theme park experience where you see this first-person view going through the office, which is really cool.
And one thing you mentioned, again, just in case we have new folks playing, regardless of what map you're playing on, this functionality, the security room will be there as long as Springtrap is the killer in the match.
Yeah, exactly. And as a survivor, if you happen to see Springtrap,
I think killer unique
through a camera,
interactions
turn your
have
camera on
gone
for
a good
few
direction.
seconds,
They're a lot
it'll be
better than
revealed
just
for-
like virus
for the whole
cure.
survivor team.
Nice.
Like Vecna having the unique chests
and what
and
about
unique
if,
items.
like,
That's pretty
What
fun.
if Springtrap
I feel
goes
like
in at
the
same
doors
time
are probably
as the
going to
survivor
be
goes in at a
fun.
different door, and
I just don't
then
know how much
Yeah, so
of
since they can both use the doors
how much
in the
weight they're
security
going to
office,
carry
we wanted to
on
make sure that there was an
your
opportunity
ability
for
to
that
win a
interaction.
match as Springtrap
So if a survivor is moving through that space from one door to
or
the other,
Survivor, either perspective.
Springtrap, excuse me, chooses one of those 2 doors, whether the one they're coming from or the one they're going to, he'll interrupt them in the security office for a fun little surprise.
Ooh. Awesome. I love all the little touches that the team has planted in there like that. I think the fans are really going to love it.
I don't think I like the way
including
that
this,
they've
you
decided to
mentioned the
design
battery.
this killer.
Managing the
I think he
battery
would have
is
made a better
part of this as well. So how's that
stealth
work in
killer
DBD?
as well.
Yeah, so survivors
And I
can
really
use
hate that him
batteries
having
amongst all of
his
them. It drains a
projectile
little
is a
bit,
hindrance
ticks
to
down per
him.
second while you're using the cameras. We didn't want players to just be the man in the chair and just sitting there and telling all their friends. So it drains a little bit. Using the teleporter to move around the map takes off a big old chunk in one shot. And then you have to kind of manage that battery as a team. It slowly recharges on its own over time, but you have to kind of manage when and where you're using it. If the battery does run out, the security system, which is kind of the doors, the cameras, the office, goes into shutdown mode for 45 seconds. But Springtrap is not affected by the battery. So if the survivors have kind of overplayed their hand and they shut the security office down, they've kind of given up their one bit of power in this chapter, and Springtrap can still use the doors and bounce around and do whatever he wants.
Dangerous. Fantastic. But what about disabling the doors?
Yes.
Yes.
So to go back to the axe, if the killer hits either a camera or a door, the whole thing, with their axe, that door and the camera becomes unavailable to survivors. They can't use it to teleport away, they can't teleport to that door, and they can't see through the camera that's been disabled.
Got it.
When the killer retrieves it, that effect lingers a little bit. It becomes a really cool way of like, I need to scope this area out, but I don't want to be revealed or seen. You can disable the door, move around, use it to fake the survivors out.
Got it. But it's not permanent. The door can be used again after the axe has been retrieved.
Yeah.
After cool.
Unless it's in shutdown, which means the survivors can't use it anyway.
Right. Cool. Okay, so speaking about moving around the map, which it sounds like we have a new exciting way to do that. One of the coolest things about the chapter, in fact, is the map. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is now a new map, a new level within Dead by Daylight for DBD fans, specifically in the Withered Isle realm. So what can you tell us about the map?
Yeah, so the art team and the level design team, much like me, they did a ton of research. And like, I don't say this just because we're doing the stream here, but it's becoming one of my favorite maps. I love it so much. In the same way that we worked hard at kind of integrating a lot of opportunities for jump scares into the killer gameplay, their team really wanted to make sure that they did the same when it comes to things like Easter eggs and scares around the map. So it really pays off if you're kind of an exploratory player a little bit.
Amazing. So are there some areas that you want to shout out that Five Nights at Freddy's fans might recognize?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot. You'll see a lot of small references and stuff, but obviously we've recreated a lot of kind of the iconic areas from the game. But we're also letting you exit the pizzeria to explore the outside a little bit, which is really cool. And we wanted to kind of add a little bit more space to allow for more dynamic chases and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for the rooms, we've got the lobby, we've got the dining hall, of course, with the full animatronic band on stage. It's very cool. And we have the arcade, which is, it's all very kind of creepily decorated like a birthday party. And, we have areas like the kitchen and even the mechanical room, which is cool. And
we can see a little glimpse right there, too.
Yeah, so altogether, this should kind of feel like I guess a formerly working pizzeria. Yes. And, of course, since it's Dead by Daylight, the entity's weird pustules and deformations are everywhere to remind you exactly of where you still are and
you're
where
making a judgment call on those pustules there, Jay.
But if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I think you're really going to love the map. They've done a lot of really
Jade
cool
is
work.
gaming.
Yeah,
that is correct. Jade is in fact gaming.
Really good too. The art team did knock it out of the park. But also with Springtrap wandering around, it's like a terror. And I think for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, like, whoop, you're going to be in familiar territory.
Yeah.
So one other nice thing that we did mention on the PAX broadcast, but I do want to mention it again, we're going to have a separate queue for this map specifically, which means you want to go to the game and you just want to check out the map. Normally, in the past, you'd be in the general rotation of maps and all that. Now you can go straight in just to the pizzeria without having to hope that you get there. So it's going to be its own queue when you join the game.
Yeah, and that's a feature that's going forward with any chapter with a new map.
Perfect.
You'll have a unique queue for that new map, which is really cool.
Perfect. Okay, how about some last tips for survivors and for killer players?
Yeah, so for the killer, as Springtrap,
The axe is my least
get used to
favorite.
the arc
I mean,
of
it's
the
like it's a
projectile.
one-time use projectile that you
As
have
I
to
say,
chase
super
down,
unique,
and it makes you
compared
slow.
to other projectile killers.
So why
We've
wouldn't
done
I just
something
throw
that
this
really
thing
allows you to
away
kind of
every
pull
chance
off
I
some
get?
really gnarly trick shots. We've seen some really interesting ones on our internal playtest. It's been super fun. So test that out, get used to it.
It drops like a fucking
take
rock.
advantage of the jump scares.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're playing with your friends, hearing them shout in your ear is always a great time.
Yes.
But for survivors, take advantage of the cameras and the doors. It may seem a little unsafe because you can be interrupted or whatever, but they're really valuable tools if you get used to them and you use it to reveal the killer and kind of scoping out the area.
what I miss had helped Inky with stream settings.
You'll get more of an advantage out of them than I think you realize.
They've talked about the map, and they've talked
Yeah.
about how Springtrap works at this
Jay,
point.
thank you so much,
There's a
as
lot
always,
to unpack
for joining
there.
us on the couch with your wonderful work and the fun stuff that you've planted in there.
All in
Soon
all,
enough, people will get to
why
play
is
around
this
with
not
it.
a
I know
stealth
you're
killer?
glued to your,
Why does my
Twitch
axe make me
streams and
slower
watch
for
people,
having it on
play
me?
it, test it out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Huntress
Show must
carries
go
7
on.
hatchets and
So
does
next
not
we're
get
gonna bring out our
a
friend
movement
Justin
debuff
Banks
because of it,
to fill you
or a
in
speed
on
debuff.
DBD's anniversary event that's right around the corner.
Springtrap gets 1 axe and he gets a 0.2 meter per second debuff. She's Russian, that's why. Oh, okay. This part is important because they're using the word "final" in the title there. The final Twisted Masquerade. What does that mean? I'm gonna skip through this here so that way we're not just watching this all the time. There we go.
Okay, so one of, oh my God, my throat. I died. But one of the best things for Dead by Daylight that makes me really excited around this time of year is that there's always something to celebrate. And this year is no different. Because not only are we welcoming in Five Nights at Freddy's to the Fog, but also our anniversary event is right around the corner. So what better way to party and welcome back the anniversary event and get ourselves nice and warm by the fire than with Justin Banks?
Thank you, Dork. I'm really happy to be back with all you guys out there. It's another masquerade, another year where they dust me off, take me out of the locker, and get ready to talk to you guys about what is happening for this year's masquerade.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to hear how we're going to be partying it up in this this year's anniversary event.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff going on, and it's a special one because as I think you saw by the title just before, after 4 years, this is going to be our final masquerade. We have lots of laughs, lots of fun, and the response to all of the gameplay, the cosmetics, the aesthetics have all been incredible.
What's the masquerade?
Since we got
This
the
is
party started.
the theme
So our
of the
final
last
masquerade event
4
is actually going to
anniversary
start
events that we've had,
about a month,
and they've had
run
it
from June
slowly
25th
change over
to July
time.
16th. While we're sad to see it go, I mean, it was a really fun theme that we worked on internally. We've had a gas working on it every single year, but we're going to close out with one last big hurrah before moving on to something completely brand new for our 10th anniversary next year.
Which is fair. The 10-year mark is a big
come back a
milestone.
year from now,
So.
and we're going to have something really special for you.
I'm really excited to see what we come up with. But also when in terms of actual gameplay, when we're talking about the return of Twisted Masquerade, is it true that the team decided to work on fine-tuning what we've currently got instead of adding new things to the whole shebang?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few things that we're doing to really
I guess I can't say
focus
surprised.
on
I
the
can't
quality
say
of
I'm
life of the game
surprised.
overall. So you've seen all of you guys out there. I don't even know which camera I'm looking at. That one. All of you guys out there. You've all seen how we are pushing for quality of life. We want to make sure that it's the game that, it's the game you guys deserve. You've stuck with us for such a long time. We're fixing long-standing bugs. We're adding features to just improve your overall experience. And we want that to translate to how we deal with events as well. So we've made the decision to focus a lot of our resources on that quality of life and less so on adding to new gameplay features for this final Twisted Masquerade event.
Okay, so in terms of that then, what can players expect to see returning to the Fog with this Twisted Masquerade?
So returning, well, I can just summarize by saying all the really cool stuff that we've done before. Again, it's fun to work on this stuff year after year. So what we have coming back are the invitation powers that are super fun that you can collect as Survivor or Killer, and you'll have different powers to use their charges for as the match goes on. We are bringing back the Bag of Tricks that we introduced last year, which creates a random effect on the
You
map,
got exposed via
that
Steam,
happens based
Jade.
on
That's
the
what happened.
progression of completing generators, accumulated with whichever hook stages are at, to really keep things dynamic, keep it moving. We're also bringing back Father Campbell's chapel, decorated, for the entire party, and it's still all the same decorations as last year, but we're signaling the party's coming to an end over there.
Down.
Yeah, and we'll even have a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's theming showing up in our anniversary lobby.
Okay. I love the fact that the lobby is going to be like a party in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Plus all the returning content. I mean, what's not to love there?
Wow.
I cannot wait to get my hands on my invitation just to
Get
cause
exposed,
ruckus. So when you're talking about the quality of life, though, are the players going to be able to experience that in the gameplay with Twisted Masquerade this year?
Absolutely. So when we were looking at how quality of life applies to, let's say, the game as a whole, we're saying, well, there are some elements of events that could work better for a better player experience. So while by and large everything from the event was really well received, we know people enjoy the invitation powers, the bag of tricks, etc. There was one big friction point from last year that we wanted to fix, which was the remote hook power for the invitations.
Oh.
So we've tweaked that a little bit just to apply some quality of life to this event itself, to make sure that as a
Should have
player
seen that
using
one
it,
coming.
it's no longer instant. You can't just look at a hook and bam, the survivor goes there.
Okay.
Now what will happen is the survivor has to look at a hook, they'll hold a button for a period of time, and then the survivor will be teleported. And it will also be obvious
I
that
might as
the
well
killer
just
is
walk
doing
into the
this,
fucking hook.
so the survivors have time for their counterplay to make them drop their partner. So
Okay.
we're really hoping that creates some more friendly gameplay, some less abusive elements, and just an overall much better party for everyone to play through.
I'm just telling you right now,
I'm really excited for that,
if
yeah.
they're trying to
So,
flashlight save,
addition to
remote
that,
hook literally
last
does
year we
nothing
pulled back
then.
the curtain
There's no
on our
point in me
host
trying to remote
of
hook
the
because
anniversary that,
if I have
we've
to
shown how
stare
many quite
at
a
the
few
hook
assets we showed
and
off
then
last
hold a
year
button for a
in
set
lot
period of
ways.
time,
Our darling tricks.
obviously they're going to
So,
still try to
since
flashlight
this is
blind
the
me,
last
unless this
Masquerade,
is like a
her presence
really
is gonna be
fast
a
charge
little
time.
less felt, so you won't hear her
So there's
here
not-
as often.
There's-
And then she'll just be
in that
Twisted
scenario,
Masquerade
there's no
fading
point in
away
using
into
the remote
fog,
hook.
you know.
Unless I know for
Oh,
sure
that's
that the
really sad
person with a
we're gonna see
flashlight
her fading
or this
away,
lobby
but
full of
I
people with
understand. At
flashlights
least
are
we get
not
to
going to
enjoy her
try to
while we
chase
still
this
have her.
down.
Yep.
So,
I like,
with this being the last hurrah, what does this mean for the Twisted Masquerade rewards and benefits?
whatever.
So this is probably one of my favorite parts to talk about, because when we see these concepts every year, it's amazing. These are so creative and fun to work on. So we wanted to use our final Twisted Masquerade as a way to catch up on all original characters who did not previously have a mask or outfit.
Okay.
So what you would see here is that we are adding masks for any survivors that are originals that did not previously have a mask. So we've got one for Vittorio, Jake, Tori, Sable, Claudette, and Orella. And then on the killer side, we only had one that's missing a mask, so we have a mask for Houndmaster. And then what we have to supplement that to keep 6 collectible pieces per roll is 5 killer anniversary weapons that look amazing. So for that, we've got one for Trapper, Nurse, Huntress, Doctor, and Spirit.
I cannot wait to get my hands on that spirit one.
Yeah, oh my god, they all look so damn good.
So good.
And we've not left out 2 other characters because those are going to get the fully earnable outfits
Okay.
from the event. So we've got David King and the Wraith. So fully decked out, ready to celebrate the
Nice.
party. So with that, we're catching up
What?
on all of our original characters, making sure that
Okay.
everyone is able to dress for the party for our final masquerade, which I think is really cool.
It's super cool.
And one thing that we've started to do over the past few years is introduce what I'm calling guests to the party.
Okay.
So some licensed characters who are getting outfits. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, so stay tuned for Hollis's section after, as he shows you who is guest starring at the party.
Okay. And hopefully they've rolled a nat 20 on style.
Oh,
Hi, Jake.
Maybe a spoiler there.
Okay, so I know a lot of people are going to be thinking about this, myself included. I'm very curious. So when it comes to the time-limited Twisted Masquerade collection and the items, what happens?
So, as we've done
Hello.
for events and event
Welcome in.
collections
We're
the
watching
past,
the,
like this one,
The year
we
9
have it only
anniversary
available during
part
the period
2,
of the event,
as they've
and then
dubbed
when the
it.
event happens again next year, all of the previous iterations come back in the store. Since this is the last Masquerade, what we're doing is going to be a little different. We have to adapt because we don't want these to fade away forever. So we are tentatively planning for these to come back in the store permanently at a certain point in the future, but we can't give specifics exactly when that is going to be.
Okay.
So when this Masquerade ends, everything will disappear, And when we know
Watch
when
this
they
when
are
I get
coming
home
back,
from
we are
work.
certainly going to be communicating on it, so players can be aware.
I've
and they know when
been
they can
trying to
come back
dodge
and
spoilers all
get
day
any masks they missed, or if
to
they
watch
joined
it
us
on
later,
stream.
you know,
So
come in
because
and
I
come
watched
up then.
last year's on
It's
stream
gonna
as
be
well.
awesome, especially because like this time of year anniversary is like a huge thing for our community. So this is a huge win, I know. But also, aren't we doing something else to make this a little bit more special?
Absolutely. So I was talking about how we want to make sure all of our originals have masks or outfits to celebrate the party. But we want to make sure that all of our players have access to all of these originals too to celebrate with. So what we're doing is we're putting all of our original characters on free trial for the entire duration of the event. So if
Wow,
there's a
that's huge.
survivor, a killer that you've not ever played before, you've been interested about, pick them up, play them in the normal queue, play them in the event queue, really go nuts. And then if you actually want to keep them, we're going to have some really sick sales going on. So, you know, get them at a really nice price.
Yeah,
and
now
keep
is like the best
celebrating with
time
them.
to pick up
That's
characters
awesome,
that you've been
Justin.
wanting
Thank you
because
so much for giving
or
us the
skins,
full rundown on the
because they're gonna put a lot of
anniversary
stuff
event
on
and the
sale
Twisted
for the
Masquerade.
anniversary stuff.
So sad to hear that it's going to be going soon, but we're going to keep it together.
It's going to go out with a bang.
At least we have that, right? At least we have that. All right, so next up, joining me on the couch is going to be a new face to the stream. So please join me in the chat with a warm welcome for Hollis, who's going to be giving us a full rundown on the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog.
okay, we're on another white screen. Jake, what do you think about I don't need Lara Croft or Tori, so I'm good. What do you think about the Springtrap? What do you think about Springtrap? What's up, Fed?
Okay, it is upcoming collections time, and you know I love talking about collections, and here with me to talk about them is a new face, our senior live specialist, operations specialist, Hollis, to give us the full rundown on everything that's going to be coming to the Dead by Daylight in-game store in the next couple of months. So welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
So Hollis, how about you go ahead
Vibing?
and give us a rundown about your role real quick?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So my day-to-day consists mostly of
Never really
scheduling
watched
and setting
FNAF,
things
but
up
he
for the
seems
in-game store.
cool.
So stuff you would see like the collection banners, featured outfits, the bundles, weekly gifts, sales, stuff like that.
I am not
Also
so
work on a
optimistic.
few of the
I'm
collections
feeling
you guys
pretty
may see in the
skeptical about the
store.
killer.
So, Autumn Fashion, Chrysalis, Noir, Horrors from the Deep, and the Forgotten Myth collection. And on that note, speaking of content creation, I am sort of moving further in that direction as I'll be the person heading up charms and player cards going forward.
Okay. Speaking of player cards, that was actually one thing we missed to talk about in our last segment. I was just sitting down
Just want
with
Julian?
Justin, where we're
Wait.
going to have badges and
Julian?
banners coming in.
Was it
as
supposed to
other
be
things
Julian?
In the event. I'm super excited.
Who's Julian?
But also, thank you for the Chrysalis collection. Oh my God, I'm a huge Chrysalis fan. But with all that said, like I said, I just sat down with Justin and they gave us a full rundown about the Twisted Masquerade when it comes to in-game earnables. But what can you tell us about what's going to happen store side?
Yeah, so just mentioned
He's
we
a
have some
character
really
from
cool
Michaela's
exclusive
story?
event, rewards.
Or
We also
Bessie?
have some exclusive store rewards for Twisted
Interesting.
Masquerade.
Okay.
This time around, we have some outfits for the Lich Vecna, who's wearing his Masquerade Lich outfit, as well as
the hell?
Baymar, who is wearing his Masquerade musician outfit. And man, I wish I could grow a mustache like that.
It's magnificent.
Oh, it's beautiful. Plus, as always, all the masks and outfits from previous years will also be returning to the store. You'll even be able to find a few select masks in bundles for Killer and Survivor. And for anyone who may have missed Twisted Masquerade last
No.
year,
It's
we also
just
have a bundle
that
with
the
awards and
headpiece
masks.
is
So
so
the known outfit, the player
big.
cards, and
Why is it
and all that will be available in the
so
store
like
June 25th with the start of the event.
Okay. So is there going to be any like fantastic sales happening as well?
There might be. So we're gonna be doing 30% off almost everything in the store for outfits.
he
At least
watched her
before the
practice her
finals are
magic, so I
reached
kind of
out.
hope they bring him to
On
the
top of that,
game
we'll be
as a
doing
male
25
witch
to
personally.
50% off almost all the characters, and as Justin mentioned, if you find a character you like during the free trials, it's a great time to pick them up and add them to your roster.
Okay. All right. So, and as obviously, we kind of touched on it. Brace yourself. This is a bit emotional. But after this, the party will be over. It'll be our. I
miss it
know,
so
I know,
much.
I know. Let's keep it together.
Tricks don't leave me.
Let's keep it together. But we're gonna be okay because before we close the curtain, we've got other things.
Jason coming to
happening right
Fortnite
before,
and Dead by
That's
Daylight?
correct.
He-
On June 17th,
he's already
we have
in
our full
Fortnite. I knew he had a
Five
skin in
Nights at Freddy's,
Fortnite,
chapter
but
releasing
as far as Dead by
along with
Daylight,
the Five Nights at Freddy's collection. Now,
They
you know,
just-
Dave and Matt already revealed
I don't know.
outfits at PAX,
They don't
but
pull the
there's a
trigger on
little
that.
show off today that no one's seen quite yet.
Okay.
But in case you did miss PAX, first of all, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Second of all, you would have saw that we revealed our Yellow Rabbit legendary outfit for our new killer, Springtrap. This is an incredible outfit from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that features the likeness of Matthew Lillard, who played William Afton on screen before the Springlock accident that really turns him into Springtrap. Now, this outfit has original voiceover from Matthew Lillard that was recorded just for Dead by Daylight.
I've been
as
trying to
well
get
as
Jason's
special
license. It's
voiceover
been really
animations
hard.
in the lobby.
Do you think you'll like
I
this
cannot wait
killer?
to get my hands on that. But are there going to be other versions of Springtrap coming into the fog as well?
There is.
Man.
We also have a Glitch Trap, a legendary outfit for Springtrap. Now, Glitch Trap first appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted and its sequel, Help Wanted 2, where he played a
I don't
very
want to
crucial
say
role in the
no
story.
without having
So it's
actually
amazing to have
played him.
as part of this collection. And as an added bonus, for both
I
legendary
think I have
outfits,
to.
you'll
Based
unlock
on what
the
I
newest
know
and
about
portrait
him,
badge of those
I'm
characters as
not
well.
excited
Glitch
right
Trap portrait
now.
badge for Glitch Trap and a yellow
But
rabbit,
I'm hoping that
portrait
when I
with Matthew
actually get to
Lillard's
play
likeness as
him,
well.
it'll change my
We
mind.
also have two very rare outfits for Springtrap, which are both taken from Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, the mobile AR game, which are Clown Springtrap and Toxic Springtrap. Now, Clown Springtrap is pulled pretty much straight from the game, looking just like fans will remember him, but we put our own twist on Toxic Springtrap to really make him our own. But that's not all. For the survivors out there who want to show their love for FNAF, there will be Freddy Fazbear's t-shirts available for all original survivors. You can buy them individually or bundled together at a discount.
That's gonna be great. I mean, I love like the shirts especially because it gives them this nice, cool, casual look. And I think
Is there a FNAF
because
map?
of that,
Yes.
It's why I love the next.
The
collection you're gonna be talking
pizzeria
about.
is getting
Casual is a great way
added
to
as a
describe
map.
it, because this outfit, this collection is simply called the Casual Collection, and as the name implies, it focuses on
Glitch Trap is so
casual
ugly, I
clothing.
forgot. Not from
Like
the
I said,
AR
more
game.
variety to characters
How do you feel
who
about
haven't
that?
been
I'm
stuck
more
with one
excited
look
for
in
the map
past.
than the
So,
killer right now.
For example, a guy like Gabriel, who's often portrayed in space-themed outfits, we finally gave him something more casual to show a different side of his character.
Looks so good.
He's a handsome man, isn't he?
Handsome man.
Handsome. On top of Gabriel, we also have outfits for Tori, who will be taking a break from her cult robes.
That looks so good.
One I know you're very excited about, which is Talita, who is getting some pants and escaping her shorts and skirt purgatory that she was in for a bit there.
Talita mentioned, yes, pants.
Thank you, Eric. We love pants.
Pants.
Gabriel not in a
Damn
spacesuit,
fancy
Jesus.
notes.
Yeah.
Put him back in the
I
spacesuit.
don't know if those exist. And finally, we have outfit for Hattie. as
Sleep,
well.
please.
And this collection
Do
will
not
be
wood in my
on July
chat.
2nd, right at the start of summer.
I cannot wait. Obviously, I'm very excited for pants.
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 Be like them. Lose your mind over
That-
pants.
I mean, especially because like with the pants, I get to be nice and comfortable while I'm hanging on the hook. I mean, I'm gonna be there anyway, so I might as well be comfortable, right?
It'd also be awkward if you were on the hook with no pants.
Yeah.
With love, I'm gonna smack you with a paddle. Be like them and be excited
but we
about
also want
pants,
the killers
Jake.
to be nice and comfortable as well while they're slaying and putting people on hooks, which reminds me why we're bringing up the Boulay Brothers collection, which will be joining the fog on July 8th. Coming
The who?
in with a very rare for the Huntress and a legendary for the Artist.
That's right.
Oh,
it says the
I
artist outfit
forgot
is a legendary
about
outfit
this.
Inspired by the Boulay Brothers themselves. Buying that one
This
will
video
give you
feels very
exclusive Boulay Brothers
G4.
themed portrait badge.
Don't think I'm familiar with G4.
Yes, can't. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited to get my hands on that.
No, sneak preview.
Sneak. Well, I mean, this is the best segue because we're going to be.
Somebody
talking
needs to
about
figure
a
out what they're
fan
doing with the
favorite
slides.
returning.
Yes, that is right. The Waterfront Massacre Collection is back.
Gaming
And for
TV
everyone that
channel
doesn't know what the Waterfront Massacre Collection
from the
is,
2000s?
it's basically Day
That
of the
I
Beach
definitely was
gone
not watching
terribly,
any gaming
horribly
TV
wrong for
channel.
our characters.
I missed
This time
out.
around, we have outfits for Elodie, Aurella, Ace, and the Xenomorph. So Elodie and Aurella are both
Xenomorph?
getting
What did you
some
give
sun
Xenomorph?
and nice beach where we thought each of them would enjoy. And then there's Ace, who is doing the same, but in a more classic Ace fashion. And is,
Dude, this is such an
something
unorganized
special.
mess.
Very
What is
special.
He's
happening?
rocking a leopard print Speedo and what seems to be a very short robe. And don't worry, to all the people out there, I can hear you typing in chat. I can confirm this outfit is mix and match. So you can go ahead and make those Speedos a part of whatever outfit you like. If you want to put it with the top hat from the Alice in Wonderland collection, you can. We're not going to stop you. That's called fashion. Finally, we worked closely with 20th Century Games on our take of an aquatic xenomorph. It's inspired by kind of an anglerfish look, and we're really happy with how it turned out. It's very creepy, very cool, and honestly would not want to run.
Actually, I
normal
do
swimming.
kind of think that that's
yeah,
cool.
absolutely not.
And you can expect the Waterfront Massacre Collection, as well as Ace's Speedo, to be available.
The fuck am I watching? Is that your next
I
outfit?
already
No.
know a very
No, definitely
distinct
not.
group of people that were playing nothing
Ace Mains
but
reminds me
Ace
of
for
of 50-year-old men who wear
during
inappropriate
2v8,
outfits IRL.
and they're going to be wearing the hell out of that Speedo.
Yeah,
To be clear, I'm talking about the
No
Speedo.
chance.
Oh, I know. I know what you were
Gosh, choose
talking
your
about.
size.
No, I'm not putting a Speedo
Thank
on.
you so much for joining me on the
Sag.
couch to talk about all the latest collections that'll be coming into the fog. I'm super excited, and it was great to have you, Hollis.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
It was so much
Domo
fun.
Speedo? No.
So next, I'm going to be on the couch here with Eric
no.
for all of our Dead by Daylight creators out there to talk about the creator program. So stay tuned.
Cool.
We're back. How about them pants?
Code Domo on DVD.
If there was no sound effect, that would be so funny.
Yeah. New stream capabilities, the technology is amazing.
Be like them. Be excited for
Just
pants.
a quick note, I did see people, they thirsting for whatever the Hattie cosmetic is. We just didn't have an image for it, I'm sorry. So please just stay tuned a little longer. It's great. All right, now we're gonna talk about the creator program. So, at PAX a few weeks ago, as we've said a couple times, we did a big stream there. We did mention there's a new creator
Wear
program
Speedo
on the
over some
horizon,
pants?
with more details
Why?
on next
Why would I
week,
do that?
which is this.
At that point, I'm just dressing up
So,
as a like a
today,
superhero.
So we've got more details to share. So, the current creator program, as you probably know, is called the Fog Whisperers. They're an amazing group of people that I've gotten to meet a bunch of now. I'm very thankful for that.
Charity
They're awesome.
stream.
They're content creators on all things Dead by Daylight, and it's while many of those relationships are going to continue for sure, it's also time that we're going to open the door to new folks. This is something we've heard a lot of. How can I get into the program? So that's what we're going to start doing. So for starters, we're actually going to retire the name Fog Whisperers.
What?
So that crew remains in the stratosphere as the Fog Whisperer Pantheon. And we're rebranding it as the Dead by Daylight Creator Program.
That's nowhere
Yes, but
near
don't
as
worry,
cool as
for
Fog
anyone
Whisperers.
wondering,
It's so
most Fog
boring.
Whisperers are still staying on with us as pillars of our new creator group. So do not worry about that. And on top of the new name, actually,
Terrible
the goal
branding.
of our creator program is to make partnering with Dead by Daylight even easier and better for the creators involved. We're expanding the benefits attached to working with us. And
Domo
we'll be
Dead by Daylight
welcoming
creator
an
program
even
era?
wider range of
I think I would have to
personalities and
start at
content
least
focused on
streaming the
game.
game way
So if you're
more,
a
but
creator,
I
you've
probably
always
don't
wanted
meet
to
their
work with Dead by
criteria to
Daylight,
qualify.
Now is the time to make that happen.
Yes, so some benefits that we're being explicit about that Dork mentioned include opportunities like access to live events, like PAX we were just at, giveaways for your communities, and new ways to engage with the game, like getting regular updates on major releases before anyone else gets those updates, early access opportunities to stream and capture content, and even be featured in our content, like on streams like today. So we're going to be testing out something other than that, which is really cool because I get to work directly on it, called the Support a Creator program. It's a program within a program, I suppose. But your Support a Creator has become kind of a industry standard thing you might be familiar with. It's a chance for you as the community of a streamer or YouTuber or whatever, to support your favorite creator with your purchases.
Fog Whisperer
in the game.
is no longer
You
a
don't need to
thing.
pay
Time
any
to steal
extra,
that?
but you put in
True.
their creator code, and they get a cut of the Oryx cells that you're buying in Dead by Daylight. So we're going to do a little pilot of that, see how it goes. If it goes well, we do hope to roll it out wider and larger. Oh yes.
Yeah, so now
It
that I'm
wouldn't be a
sponsored, I can say that I
creator
hate the
without
direction this game is
Twitch
going,
talk about Twitch
and I
shirts.
hope they fix it. Use
Twitch
code
shirts. I wake up in the
Domination
middle of the night
Domo
thinking of Twitch
at
shirts.
checkout.
Hot sweats.
What the fuck?
Hot sweats. Well, that's just me anyway.
SAC?
Okay, so Twitch shirts.
Domo
Twitch
Sapiens?
shirts has
No.
become a
Fog
big thing, as
Whisperers?
you know.
Yes.
It was
You should
never
apply
meant
to their
become a
program.
big thing, but also wasn't well defined. How do I get them? Why does that person get them? I don't get them. And I think those are totally fair questions.
I can try, but they're probably going to turn me down.
To the launch of this new creator program, so it was very clear. Here's the guidelines to get into the creator program. You get into the creator program, you get a Twitch shirt. So that's the new way of getting the Twitch shirts. The old throwing them out randomly method has been retired for now, at least. So if you get into the new creator program, you will be rewarded with a lot of things, but also a Twitch shirt. So I think there's a note on that. So we're going to be granting the upcoming Twitch shirts for our next original Survivor to the creator program.
You're gonna hit
And anyone
goals
who
for
already
3
has
months,
Twitch
but it could
shirts,
work.
You get to hold on to the ones you have, but we won't continue to build your Twitch shirt collection. You got to get into the creator program.
Yes, so if you're interested in adding your voice to our community of creators, our new Dead by Daylight creator program website is now live, where you can go ahead and read the code of conduct and find out how you can go ahead and fill the form to apply to get yourself submitted into the program. So the link should already be pinned in chat.
Yep, and our creator team, which is kind of a sister team to our team, it's not us. They're going to be at TwitchCon EU, that's short for Europe, just from May 31st to June 1st in Rotterdam. So you can go chat with them in person and get more details.
Domo won't
make
get
sure,
in. Did you pull up the application or whatever?
What does that
Introduce
mean? What a
yourself.
weird. Thank you.
Have
English.
10,000 plus
I've just
followers
learned
on
English.
at least one of the
But also a
applicable
really cool thing we're
platforms.
doing at that TwitchCon
Streamers
is
stream Dead by Daylight for at least
sponsoring
20 hours
the
per month.
horror
Video
gaming
creators create 2 long
we
form,
attended
8-minute
last
plus, or
year
8
at
short
TwitchCon
form,
North America. It was
at least
super
3-minute
dope. I got
long
to go and meet a
Dead by
bunch of
Daylight videos
you
per
cool
month.
creators. But now it's sponsored by Dead by
More
Daylight,
intense
which is
than
kind of
hunts.
fitting, so
Holy
you can go
crap.
and enjoy that
Yeah,
and
I kind of
everything
figured.
there. Okay, enough about creators. Let's answer some questions from the community.
Why so restrictive?
Let's do
Because they only want to be
Q&A.
involved with
Sorry.
people who
One
are
more thing we're
actually
gonna
going
do.
to have a
We're going to talk
reach.
about the stats tracker I mentioned at the top of the show.
Yes, the stats.
Right? Right?
It's a live stream, folks. It's a live stream.
10K followers is so insane.
In a couple of weeks, we're going to be
Yeah,
doing a new
yeah.
feature that you guys have been asking
It
for
is what
a
it is.
long time, which is the official Dead by Daylight stats tracker. So for anyone who knows the game, a lot can happen over the course of a trial. You can boon a totem, get hooked. You could get a pallet stun, get hooked. You know, there plenty of things happen.
Including getting hooked?
And so, yeah, especially. So players have always wanted to know more information about their matches, and this website is going to be the key to getting you that information.
And what I should have done at the start of this, Emil, get ready. I should have said stats tracker and then air horn. So I'm going to try it. Stats tracker! Yep. Yes. We're in the 21st century. Stats are being tracked as
Get
far
hooked
back
is such a
as
good
September
tagline for
1st,
getting people into Dead by
2020. That's
Daylight.
just a limitation on the data that we have. So we're going back to September 1st, 2020. So you'll be able to see your own personal journey in Dead by Daylight. A random person just walked in the room, and all your milestones over that time. The team has been looking at it, actually approaching it like a fitness app, which I think is a cool approach for killers and survivors, which I think would keep you fit, actually, if you're one of those things.
Well, I mean, survivors run all the time.
Where do I see this? Where do I see this, though?
So it should be a fun way to track your personal progress.
Yeah. The Stats Tracker website is going to launch on June 17th,
Bruh.
and you'll be able to access it either on desktop or mobile. So it's super simple to use, and all you'll need is a behavior account with at least one platform you play Dead by Daylight linked with it. You can also link multiple platforms with cross progression and combine all your stats from wherever you play the game. There's the general statistics page at the start where you can see your global stats like hours played, specific play time and matches, total matches, and more. You can also switch between the main stats for killer and survivor.
Yes, select one, and you'll be able to see things like who your
So this is
most characters
interesting,
are,
but this is
who
definitely
top
not going to
characters are for
replace
each
Nightlight.
role.
If you don't know what Nightlight is, Nightlight is the already existing community-made stat tracker. All the stats and stuff in that are reported by players.
Like what your top perks were.
But then they
both in
take that
terms of
information,
hit rate,
compile it,
your kill or
and they
escape
show
rate.
you
You can also see which perks really drive the most
killers
success for you and the way
listed
you
by
play the
like
game.
highest kill rate, highest
Yep,
pick rate,
and a few more things you might be
highest
wondering
pick
about
rate
the site,
for
will be super current.
like
So
perks
meaning
and
your match
stuff.
history will update
They'll
almost
show you
immediately
perk
after a match
builds
is
that are
finished
really
in the
common
game.
with
So
Survivor,
stats also
or
refresh every
perk
24
builds that are really
hours,
common with
meaning,
a particular
where
killer.
to go. Yeah,
Nightlight
yeah.
is
If you
already
link a new
doing this
platform,
plus more.
which some people
So
may be doing. It could take up to 24 hours.
it's just
before
that you have to
start seeing those
report your own
platform
stuff
stats
after every
come.
match.
And finally, it could change in the future too. This is a first iteration, as with most of the things we put out. First iteration, and we build on it.
This is like
It's gonna
League
focus on
replacing
1v4
Blitz or
matches and major
Poro
seasonal events
Fester.
like Blood Moon, Anniversary, Halloween, and the winter event. And as of now, custom matches won't be counted in your stats.
Welcome back.
But we're going to be looking at adding limited time events.
I was talking about
like
Nightlight
Chaos
and how
Shuffle and
Nightlight is
2v8,
already kind
in
of
the
doing
future
more
down the
than
road.
I can't wait
the
for
Dead by Daylight
Chaos
stat
Shuffle for it
tracker.
to tell me how many times I got no mither. I would love that. And like with everything we do here at Dead by Daylight, the stats tracker is something where, as Eric said, we're going to be building on. So there's already a ton in there that we wanted to make sure that is available for players. But if there's anything you want to see added, feel free to let us know on socials so that we can let the team know and see about updating it for the future.
So keep an eye out for more info. We're very close to that release. It's actually going to release alongside this chapter, which is scheduled for June 17th of this year, by the way. So a couple weeks. So only a couple of weeks away. And as
couple weeks. It's literally 4 weeks. It's literally a full month away.
Some Q&As.
Yeah, let's jump to it. I don't know if we have. Do we have a card thing? We got 2 minutes. Oh, okay. We're close to PTB time, so we're going to zoom. Okay. We have 2 live streams in 1 month. Five Nights at Freddy's anniversary. We know you've got. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I'm reading what was written for me. Okay, here's the actual question. There have been complaints about cheats and hackers in the game at the moment. Is there something you can say about how you're addressing this?
The war against cheaters and hackers is a long-standing one, and that's for sure. And while it will always be there, there are definitely steps that we are taking to resolve this as much as possible. So during the upcoming months, you can expect to receive clearer game rules, a code of conduct, and regular updates on our war against cheaters, as well as strengthening our anti-cheat protocols. That's not all that we're doing, of course, but there will also be other things that we can't discuss. As we get more and closer to that, we'll be giving you more information on, and we don't want to be giving cheaters and hackers, roundabouts for our protocols.
Yeah, we can't give them that peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Cheaters are losers. Yesterday, the developer update went live explaining the Go Next prevention. How does this affect survivor perks that allow you to get off the hook? And how will the feature prevent survivors leaving the game
They
early?
let that camera shot linger
So
for a
Go
long
Next,
time.
otherwise known as giving
Kernel
up on the
level
hook early
anti-cheat
in the
inbound.
match. Firstly, it ruins the match for everyone involved on the survivor team.
They use
And the
easy
killers,
anti-cheat
sometimes
now.
They have things that they've got to do too. So frustration
So
around
I
this
guess
has
it
been
couldn't
very high
be
as of
any
late,
worse
and
than
with
what
the
it is
test happening in the
already.
PTB, the chance to get off the hook early in the match will be removed unless you have perks or offerings that affect this. Deliverance and Wicked will stay the same, and their activation conditions have not changed. For example, playing for
Cameraman fell
the
asleep,
hatch.
probably.
So when 2 survivors are left, and the survivor that is hooked will try to allow
We still have
themselves
7
to
minutes of
die
this somehow.
faster, so that the other person can get the hatch.
I guess this is
That
just community
still
questions,
going to,
but
happen in the game as well.
All right. With the bulk spending option, so another awesome quality of life feature coming with this release, will we be allowed to choose what items that we can spend our BP on?
So in this iteration, you could actually choose how many levels you'll want to spend your blood points on. So you can't currently choose that very specifically. And it's going to be done automatically, and you will receive a pop-up that shows what was purchased after it's completed, and it's going to be very quick. So we will monitor the feedback on this and see how it performs, and then we'll make some changes moving forward.
Oh, this one's for me. What is Eric's favorite animatronic? So people who follow me might remember I put up a picture that my son drew that I thought was Shrek. And then I posted it, and people were like, that's Springtrap, idiot. And then everyone speculated Springtrap was coming to the game, which at the time I had zero knowledge of. But because of that, Springtrap for sure is my favorite animatronic because I lived through some stuff with that. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I think for me it would have to be Freddy Fazbear.
Oh yeah, the classic.
Gotta go with the classic.
Okay, are you going to continue with the quality of life, in particular the anti-slugging fix?
We are definitely
Fad, please.
continuing
You're gonna
with
set
all
sleep
UI
off.
features that we advertised earlier this year. So don't worry about that. With this PTB, we'll be focusing on the Go Next feature, bulk blood point spending, and extreme hiding. Then in the upcoming releases, we'll be focusing on phase 2 of the plan. So more information will be available as we head closer to that phase. But rest assured, this is still a very large focus for us. This is very
told you.
important, and we want to be very careful with making sure we're addressing issues in the correct way the first time.
Final question. Where
Sleep,
is
no.
Maurice, if you're
Sleep,
game
no.
our beloved horse,
Sleep bad.
who happens to have 3 eyes and drips blood.
Yeah.
He's been missing from the game for a few weeks. And I think now is the time to let people know.
Yeah, let me know.
He took a vacation to Japan. I'm serious.
Without me?
Without you, without me. If you want a glimpse into his adventure in Japan, you gotta play that new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh,
Yeah, Shadows.
collab.
That's all I'm gonna say. Go find out for yourself. Maurice will return soon. I hope.
Please, come back.
So, that's it. You've listened to us yammer long enough. I don't have
The
a time, but I
comforting
believe
sound.
we're already past time, so PTB should already be rolling out. Thank you for joining us for our 5 Nights at Freddy's official stream, and we hope you're as excited about the chapter as we are.
Yes, and from all of the requests, we know you probably are. So thank you so much for sitting here with us. And now it's time for you to go play the live PTB and test drive Springtrap for the first time.
We've got tons more of amazing content coming your way this year, and the anniversary is also just around the corner, so stay tuned for good stuff to come. And creators, we hope to hear from you soon.
Yes, so thank you everyone for the welcome back to stream messages on Twitter. This is a live stream,
Yes.
dang it. But we will be rolling out into the
Kinda
fog
wish the
now,
song was what
so
you heard
stay
when you
safe out there.
got death
Good
hooked
luck
instead of
in
the normal
hiding
sound.
and hunting.
The
Now
Freddy
let's get one
song.
more air horn right now. Thank you, everybody. Have fun.
Bye.
Is that it? Are we done?
Oh my
Oh boy. What a mess.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of the current creators. I think Otstarva is probably the one that I frequent the most, by a long shot. I know who Paulie is. These 3 in the middle, though, no clue.